And we are live. Good morning, people. This Saturday, 26th of October, as we are approaching one day away from the West Ham away game. After a disastrous result against Fenerbahce, some people say in isolation a 1-1 draw was a good game. But the quotes from Erik Ten Hag, when you take 2 points at Porto and Fenerbahce, it shows we are a team that is hard to beat. Is this delusion or is this a dead man walking? Is this the stories from Chris Wheeler that came out yesterday to say that INEOS are secretly still looking to find a replacement? Are they getting worried? Are they really looking to get rid of Ten Hag? We're going to discuss about everything that's been said and done. Of course, this is MUFC Realist TV. Do not forget to like and subscribe as per usual, like this. And we should get into the stories after this intro. Take it easy and see you in a bit. Morning, people. How are you all doing this Saturday? And the usual Mick Ruby question. How do you feel to be a Man United supporter today? I know it hasn't been an easy start for us. And I know that we are looking at Erik Ten Hag's third tenure. He's the only manager that's been giving a third year after Sir Alex Ferguson. Of course, we've been staring at the barrel of the gun. Been running poorly by the Glazers to only look at the financial aspects and doing shirt sellers and stuff like that in signings. But apparently we have INEOS at the helm, and INEOS has been investing a lot of money into Man United and with a project. And in the summer, there was no smoke without fire. There was clearly appointing best-in-class people, assembling a sort of a dream team squad in terms of head of recruitment, sporting director, XYZ. They went to the market, in the transfer market, got some players that are club signings, but also kind of a little bit of Erik Ten Hag signings. And they've been giving him all the tools to perform. And of course, they did the strategical review. And in this strategical review, of course, there was Thomas Frank involved there. They were looking at Ruben Amorim. They're looking at multiple managers, including Thomas Tuchel, that they had interviews with. And rightfully so. This is something called succession planning. They didn't give Ten Hag a 3-year contract. They just went ahead to do 1-year contract with a performance index to say, we'll see how you perform. But there's also an implication in financial aspects. What would it cost the club to sort of get rid of him? And lo and behold, we are here where we are right now. And looking at the barrel of the gun, the fixtures hasn't been easy, right? If we look at the performance management, me as a fan, personally, I can see that this is not working right now. I'm on the verge to say I had enough, but yet I understand also that it is a vision. But the question is, does Ten Hag's vision marry into what INEOS' long-term strategy is? It looks like with the poor team selection, the constant tinkering, we don't see consistency. We never can predict who is the starting 11 because Ten Hag constantly tinker. Because is he a man that knows he's a dead man walking? Is he a man that knows he under pressure he needs to win game by game? Therefore, every single game he keeps chopping and changing. Take Fenerbahce for an instance. The instant shock and confusion to start Mazraoui as a number 10. Why? And also, why are you not starting a proper right winger who has been the man of the month, the performer of the month for Man United? Amad Diallo can't even get a sniff. Because you have Rashford, you want to sort of shoehorn Rashford into the right and play Garnacho on the left. Doesn't really make sense. And also coming out in the latest interviews to blame on injuries again. Yeah, I understand that injuries derailed our season last season. But now, what kind of injuries are we talking about? I think it comes down to trust in team selection. I do really believe so. Because if you really look at the injuries, what do we have right now? Johnny Evans is not an impact player. Harry Maguire is not an impact player. Of course, Kobe Mainoo is the only one that we're kind of missing. We signed Eleni Euro that got injured, but he's on his way back. We deliberately went in the transfer market not to sign a left back. Obviously, the medical staff was correct to say, well, Ten Hag, you're going to get Malacia and Luke Shaw back in December. They must have miscalculated because they probably meant this December coming. And even if they get back into fitness, they need match fitness as well. They haven't kicked the ball for a long time, so we don't even have a proper left back. So that means that INEOS has kind of looked at it from a financial perspective as well to say we don't have the money. We couldn't afford to buy a left back, and little could we afford to actually get rid of Ten Hag. I mean, you constructed a dream team all around you. The only thing what was left was the manager, hence the strategical review done by Dave Brailsford. The only sole purpose involved, because if you look at it, Omar Barada was not involved. Dan Ashwood was not involved. Jason Wilcox was not involved because they were not in place when this strategical review was taking place. So they didn't have a say in it. But now everyone is on board and everyone is looking with the microscopical eyes. And when we look at the fixtures of results, it don't lie, right? Take the 7-0 from Barnsley. 7-0 from Barnsley was the only one we actually scored a lot of goals, right? But if you go back into the table, right, the slapping of Liverpool in the English Premier League, 0-3, was a disgrace, 100%. And that was at Old Trafford. Then we kicked on further on in September, away against Southampton, winning 0-3. Barnsley 7-0. Crystal Palace away in isolation as well. I mean, we can say isolation, but in general fixtures, you look at the overall results, where we're sitting in the table 12th. 8 games, 11 points. Not good enough. Not good enough. So this tells me that the manager is taking it game by game, in a way. FC20 in the Europa League. We haven't really won Europa League or in Europe for 12 months. FC20 1-1. We went 1-0 up and lost it. Seriously. That's not good enough, right? You go at Spurs. I remember clearly the statement from Ten Hag that, hey, Spurs didn't matter because we were 10 men down. Like, I keep forgetting this game or forget about this game. No, you cannot forget this game. Spurs was in the shit. They were absolutely dog shit. They came to Old Trafford and played like they were at home turf. We looked absolutely out of possession. Tactics, right? We can continue. Porto, 3-3. Another game. This one you can isolate, put in isolation because, hey, we went 2-0 up. We went 2-0 up. And this is something called in-game management. Only to go 3-2. How is this possible? And then in the final add-on minutes, Harry Maguire's header to save the day, to save his face through 3-3. Aston Villa in isolation, it was a good performance. You can say that. But again, you cannot come out with this kind of quotes. You cannot come out to say this. When you take 2 points at Porto and Fenerbahce away, it shows that we are a team hard to beat. It's about winning games. It's about winning bloody games, isn't it? Let's continue. Brentford, again at home. Very slow, lethargic tempo. The team is not really set up to win games. The team is set up, in my analysis, is to survive. 2-1. It took a knee to the head of Matthias de Ligt, and everyone was pissed off. We came out firing in the second half. We played like the old Man United of the past, the bullish Man United. The tempo went up. The attack. It's like Ten Hag said, go out there and express yourself. clearly it worked because the player were not angry and they're allowed to express themselves, not in this boring formation of 4-3-2-1, where it's all about defending. When it comes to defending, it's about Ten Hag defending his own job at the moment, because clearly he keeps chopping and changing. We don't see a consistent lineup. And if you don't have a consistent lineup, how you expect consistency? How do we score? Honest to God, I figured it out. There must be trust issues. Right. We're going to continue the team selection as well. For Mbappe, okay. Historically speaking, Man United in Turkey is not a marriage. It's a very difficult prospect to go. We have Welcome to Hell as well. But we go 1-0 up and Jose Mourinho gets sent off. And we concede stupid mistakes. Defensively, schoolboy errors. That is not Ten Hag's fault. That is Victor Lindelof's fault. And same thing goes with Porto. 2-0 up and 2 stupid defensive mistakes. Again, team is switching off. That's not good enough, in my opinion. But however, the baffling choice of playing Mazraoui, the confusion of playing Mazraoui as number 10 sent me backwards to think, what the hell are you doing, mate? You know, it's clearly a trust issue. You don't trust Amad Diallo that's been delivering. But you come out to say statements to say that I pick Anthony based on training, what is done in training. But excuse me, you should pick players that do well on the pitch. You should trust players for what they do on the pitch, not in training. Because on the pitch is where you win the matches, right? You come out to set up a defensive formation, pragmatic, and hence why we're not scoring goals. Because there is no cohesion. There is confusion within the team, right? So for me, this is a dead man walking right now, trying to win game by game, protecting himself rather than the INEOS vision of a long-term strategy. I thought long and hard about it. I did. And I don't see this long-term. I see a man that is fighting for his job. I see a man that looks at it game by game and not picking a consistent team. When I say consistency, I speak about Arsenal, I speak about Chelsea, I speak about City, I speak about Liverpool. It's so easy to predict the starting 11. And they go and play their style of game, no matter home and away. But Ten Hag keeps tinkering game by game, adopting different strategies, formation, depending on the opponent. Do you get my feeling? So why are we then expecting consistency and results where it's clear and obvious that if you're not getting a run of games and playing the same style and patterns, how are you going to win, right? It is like somebody's telling Ten Hag, Erik, your left tire is a little bit low on air pressure. Yes, I know, but I'm still going to keep driving an M16. Alert. Erik, you're almost running out of flat tire. Yes, I know, but I'm still going to keep driving. Right. Erik, your head gasket and your engine is about to explode. You're running out of fuel. Yes, I just want to reach my... No, ain't going to work. If you continue this way, you will not see the finish line. You will not. In isolation, if we put that in isolation, there's 2 different aspects. What INEOS wants to achieve based on the investment, they want to have return on investment. And what he wants to achieve is to save his job. And there is the third aspect, what the fans believe and want to see. Honest to God, I am bored to my teeth to sit here and watch Man United games because that doesn't excite me anymore. I was thinking that this third season would be something different. There's no more excuses when you come out to say in interviews that injuries. What kind of injuries do you have? You do have trust issues, Erik, I believe, based on who you pick. And it's evidentially how you pick your team and set up your team. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you think at the end of the day. Welcome to MUFC Realist TV. Well, let's keep it real, people. Let's keep it real. Stephanie Griffith, what you saying here? Tinkering, to be fair, is down to injuries and suspensions of Bruno. We never seem to have a settled team or to choose from. No recognized left back, no Mount availability, no Euro and international breaks. And fair so, like, you know, I'm done with excuses, but international breaks is absolutely derailing the run of form as well. There's too many of them. There's too many of them. There's too much football. And Ten Hag needs to stop playing favorites, what George Vukovic is saying, because this is your voice of reasoning as well. This is your therapy. Let me know what you think. I haven't given up on Ten Hag either. But I got to be real. This is not working. I mean, when fans can see what's going on the pitch, when fans can say this is not working, why is Ten Hag not adjusting it? Why? We got to be critical, right? Again, I keep using analogies because if there's something wrong with your car, you take it to the garage, to the repair shop, and they plug in something called diagnostics. So it's a little bit of a sort of a mini computer, like, you know, they plug it in and they get all the formula that gives you back what is the problem. Right. The mechanic tells you, listen, Erik, there's something wrong. Your left tire is unbalanced or right tire is unbalanced. You need to change head gasket. You need to change a little bit of oil. You get all the data presented in front of you. The same thing goes with analysis. You get video analysis. You watch the games, but instead you watch what's going on in training, and you don't fix it. It's like you're the mad captain, like, you know, steering the boat like Titanic. Abort. You're heading towards an iceberg. Yes, I know, but I'm still in my course. I know where we're going. Abort. And eventually it's going to crash. We've seen this movie before. I feel absolutely sad about it because it's self-awareness. How can you improve yourself if you're not self-aware? If you're not listening to what the other coaches are saying and giving you advice to say, no, I'm sticking to it. This is going to be the downfall. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's an old saying. But it depends on how you're going to sharpen it and how you're going to chop the wood with it. Or your head will be chopped off at the end of the day. Set up not to lose and trying to win by the odd goal just like the first season. Lack of goals is still the problem. 100%, Steph. 100% what you're saying. We are definitely set up not to win games. We're more set up to be not to concede. And I believe that he's got, I mean, with his injuries and conceding goals and too many shots on targets must be sitting in the back of his head. He must be scarred from last season because his rotation has been over-exaggerated, right? He's talking about injuries. So his setup is okay. Fine, you know, from the back line is fine. We're not conceding that many goals anymore. The inclusion of Ugarte, the explanation, yes, I do understand his need to be embedded, X, Y, Z. Yes, I do. But this seems to be a common denominator. Why is no other Premier League team having this excuse? You go out, play players in the market. Why are you keeping them on the bench, trying to integrate them? Why are we seeing kids on the bench? You're not integrating them. You have Harry Amas, which is a left back, including on the bench, but you're not using them. Instead, you go and use a Victor Lindelof that clearly is best before expiration date, right? Clearly, you could have played Christian Eriksen as a number 10, but instead, trust issue. You put Mazarawi, who is a right back, left back, who's never played in that position before. Why? Why? This is the confusion in me. It's as simple as this, what Lee Parker is saying. Big up, Lee. Good morning to you. The players have no heart desire to play. The team needs a real leader. on the pitch, and Bruno is not that guy. Yes, Lee, I agree, but if there's no Bruno, there's no party. I was kind of the only one that tweeted this out. We clearly missed Bruno against Fenerbahce because we didn't have that creativity. Yes, Bruno gets a lot of stick, but he's the only one that runs his socks off for the team and creates chances. And when they pay off, I remember this flick against what we did against Crystal Palace, Rasmus Højlund's goal. Beautiful, beautiful. So do we get a lot of stick from this? Like and smash, yes. Thank you so much. Listening at work. Sorry, Mr. Chat. No problem. Everyone can be engaged. Now, of course, we got to bring this to the stage, and this is from our friend Rushmano. This came out yesterday, guys, that Manchester United have held secret talks with potential replacements for Erik Ten Hag, including Xavi, Ruben Amorim, Edin Terzic, and Brentford's Thomas Frank is under strong consideration after being linked with the United job this summer. This is according to Chris Wheeler. Is this Man United now or INEOS saying we did a mistake? It ain't working now. We backed him in the summer. We gave him all the tools, and he comes up with all these excuses. Football is a result business. People don't get fooled, right? Business is a result business. You know, if you're not performing in your business, you get replaced. 100% you do, right? The result is not good enough. And trust me, I believe this has legs. But it's something called contingency planning. And this is something that is a double-edged sword for INEOS as well, because reports also come and say that it's a financial issue. It's a financial issue. To get rid of Ten Hag will cost them £17 million. That is equivalent to buying a left back. Will this cost them at the end of the day? Because I'm thinking more, I don't want a manager to be sacked. I want him to succeed, but I can't see him helping himself with these delusional quotes. You can't see the forest from the tree. But at the same time, it's going to cost INEOS next season Champions League sponsorship money. You're looking at the Adidas sponsorship deal, the implications in the contract, what it says, Snapdragon deal as well. It clearly states if we are not in the Champions League, that the reduction of what we're going to get in sponsorship will be far more less. And that's the thing, right? You look at the financial aspects and you look at what I said. INEOS has a long-term vision. They want to win everything by 2028, but do we have the patience? Right? And Ten Hag looks at game by game. He wants to sort of save his job. Instead of just letting go like we did in Brentford, just let them players express themselves, right? I certainly believe that there is no smoke without fire. This has been going on for far too long, right? Xavi, Ruben Amorim, Terzic, okay. Thomas Frank is a no-go for me, 100%. He chews too much chewing gum. He looks like a psych on the sideline. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place. I had enough, right? I don't particularly enjoy watching our football at the moment. This is me personal, right? I don't get the excitement buzz anymore, right? Instead of progressing, we are actually regressing. It's the same problems continue from season 2. Now I back him. I back this new structure because I realize this is a cultural rebuild. This is a proper rebuild, the first one we ever done. And we have footballing operation people running the show. But if you look at other managers who comes into other teams and can get the tune out of the team. So I'm talking about Chelsea, that everyone was criticizing for buying overinflated squad, 40 squad members, and nobody could get a tune of it. How can Enzo Maresca come in and get him to play top-notch football, get the best out of this team? How? How can Arne Slot just slot into Liverpool first season and they're sitting top of the league? How? Ten Hag is mentioning that, yes, I won 2 trophies. Cool, silverware. But this is not the way we want to see as fans. We want to see good football and we want to see consistency. We want to see us to string 5 games in a row where we're actually winning. We want to be able to sit here and predict the starting 11 without tinkering too much. We want to see a balanced squad, no favoritism. We don't want to see you picking Rashford because he's an asset player, or Anthony De Santos. You play him in the shop window because you got to get rid of him in January. Hence, you put him out to play Fenerbahce, and he got injured. And then you had no other choice to go to Ahmad. Absolute disgrace. Ahmad has been like, the man of the hour in August and September. He's been delivering on the pitch, doesn't get a sniff. I don't know. There is something fishy going on, and it's called either it's delusion or is it trust. I believe it's trust, 100%. I disagree. When Ronaldo was, what you're saying here, Lee Parker, I disagree. Like when Ronaldo was here, same group let him down. If there was one of us, we all run ass off and Rooney stay up for. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, 100%. Big up Cat as well. Good morning to you. If what you say is true about Bruno creating chances, then everyone else is at fault. I don't believe that. Bruno often wastes chances. But Bruno this season, we haven't seen the best of Bruno, but if you notice, he's playing more deeper. He's been more disciplined, but he doesn't really enjoy his game. Right. So there were some damning reports coming out also from, not damning reports, but The Athletic wrote it, and they spoke about the financial implications. And the reason why they're not getting rid of him is because of the finances. But again, this will come and bite you up the ass because you need to qualify in Champions League for the revenue money and for the sponsorship deals. So, and I believe that if he can turn this around, I'll be on board 100%. I want to read something from my friend Dale O'Donnell from Threaded News. What happened to my mouse? Sorry. Yes. And he writes something very interesting that I want to share with. Hang on a second. Let me just pull this to the screen. So let me just pull this to the screen. So according to Give Me Sport, Ten Hag has objectives, but they don't include winning trophies and finishing in top 4. What? The Dutchman must avoid high-profile dramas as seen with Jadon Sancho last season and ensure United are competitive in all competitions. That is how INEOS will supposedly judge progress under Ten Hag this season. What is this supposed to mean? Does this mean that this season is a clean slate for everyone? That is, we're starting fresh. We don't really care how we finish. We just want to see progress to set up the structure. Could it be that it's just if it's sort of finished, he's just a starter and then somebody else will come in and finish the job? It's like you're running that 400-meter relay. You know, the one in the Olympics when you have the stick, right? The stick. You're running the first 100-meter, you pass on to the second, and the finisher comes at the end and run into the finish line. Could this explain that they didn't give him a new contract or change any condition in his contract? They're just basically going to fizz him out for the end of the season and then go fresh for the manager of choice that they have in mind. Surely this must be the case. Surely they didn't want to sack him in the summer because of the money. But there was no smoke without fire because we won the FA Cup. And that changes things. And there was a lot of people within the fan base that wrote in protest letter, don't. But look at us now where we are. I know it's too early to judge, but, stats don't lie. We're breaking all sorts of records and stats for the wrong reasons. And it hurts me as a Man United fan to watch this, to witness this. We are talking about standards FC. Standards. Yes, we used to have those standards. But the same people are lowering down the standards and accepting and defending. This is, yes, trust the process or the progress. And this kind of explains why Ten Hag hasn't been really sacked as of yet, as INEOS are showing patience. But is this patient now dwindling out when they are seeing these bad performances? Are they now talking to Ruben Amorim, Xavi, potential candidates, as a replacement in the summer? Because if they do, this is a dead man walking. If things goes bad, I don't think that we will get a new manager in. I think it will be more of an interim, like Ruud van Nistelrooy taking over for the end of the season. But we certainly need to see results. We are playing away West Ham tomorrow, and West Ham has been shit, but so have we. Hand on the heart, we haven't been good at all this season. We've seen moments, right? We've seen moments, but never consistency. Let me see what you guys are saying. Good morning to you, everyone. Good morning, Satinja. What you saying here, my friend? Ten Hag said it. He disagreed the Spurs match as Bruno was red carded and then overturned. We are dog shit in that match. Yeah, exactly. I can't believe what he said. I can't believe he said that. You know, he disregarded the game in isolation because we get red carded and then it got overturned. We got spanked with 3-0 at home term. Basically, we invited the robbers to come to our house. It was an open door. They came in and took our PlayStation. They took our wives, the daughters, the sons. And on the way out, we stopped them and said, hey, do you want some takeaway? Do you want some cookies? My grandmother just baked fresh cookies. Take him. It doesn't really make sense, people. Yeah, good to see you again. Yeah, listen. I gotta admit, I'm a very strong person mentally. But when I don't feel like doing the content because there's nothing to talk about, all we see is just negativity. And it's really hard to stay positive, of course. And of course, I've been very busy with my main line of work as well and family life and everything. So it's good to be back. And when I actually do have something to say, I come in and say it. See what you're saying here. Erik's failed at the objectives already. Erik's failed at them objectives already. He's fell out with Ahmad, like those with everyone else. No people skills. And that is another thing, people skills. He keeps falling out with people. He doesn't know how to communicate. He's very dry, in my opinion. I've been covering the press conferences, and I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? There is no personality, and there's no man management. At least when you see Klopp and everyone, the managers, they go out and hug the players, they speak to the players, they're on the touchline, being very vocal and being the conductor, like, the symphony, Vienna orchestra. You have the conductor that will just slow up the tempo, slow down, drums, go cello, go violins, go trumpet. Do you know what I mean? I ain't seeing it. Instead, we see a Ruud van Nistelrooy being that conductor on the touchline. It is what it is. So, Richie, what you saying? Would a new manager want more of this squad? Probably not. There's a lot more to do than just sacking Erik Ten Hag. Yeah, 100%. But it comes down to the argument's sake is you can see what's wrong, but how do you fix it, right? You don't want to fix it. And that's the problem. I can see this working under Ten Hag, but you need to do tweaks. But instead, you're doing mad things like Fenerbahce, for instance, throwing Mazraoui as number 10. Totally unbalanced. And this is the common denominator, like we constantly see. And one thing is consistency here, is that we consistently see an unbalanced team, an in-game management that sort of sucks. A consistent theme is that we go 2-0 up or 1-0 up, and then we do schoolboy errors and ended up like getting a draw or a loss. This has to stop. And how do you fix it? How? I don't know. Jarvis Cocker, big up Jarvis. Hysteria is back after a draw for Fenerbahce, but isolating it. Xerxes and Lindelof struggled, and everything changed in the last 30 minutes when we returned to form. Yeah, but in isolation, actually, you're right there, Jarvis. In isolation, 1 point, Fenerbahce is not a bad result. But in isolation, to come out to say quote, this quote, which I don't agree with, this one. Hang on a second. When you take 2 points at Porto and Fenerbahce away, it shows that we are a team hard to beat. Excuse me, we were 2-0 up at Porto. 2-0 up. We were cruising 1-0 up. And even if Fenerbahce had the majority of ball possession and the brilliant saves of Onana, it could have been a different result. Even if the Jose Mourinho gets a red card, we can still not set up the score and win. We look like, Jarvis, that we didn't go out there to win. We were more set up like to defend. We were set up like Jose Mourinho's tactics, pragmatic, and hit him on the counter. The goal we scored was a beautiful team goal, I must agree. Beautiful executed. But that was the only chance that we have and the only conversion that we did. Now I'm baffled. I don't want to be reactionary. I'm just being like a voice of reasoning. You guys can have your say. I'm not manager in or out, but I'm on the doubt category. Always been. But I'm also realist. When I look at the stats, the results, the figures, the lineup, the tactics, the constant tinkering, in isolation, in my humble opinion, in conclusion, there is no consistency. Right? Consistency, confidence is lacking. How can you get confidence when you don't play consistent formations or consistent lineup? You don't have that much injuries like last season, and yet you come out to say that injuries. I'm tired of these excuses. I think that Ten Hag has run out of ideas. I think that Ten Hag is run out of excuses. I think that Ten Hag is taking it game by game, fighting for his job because he knows what's going on. He's not going to be the manager next season. There is no smoke without fire that the club are secretly going, and it's not been a secret, but they're going out to speak to potential managers for next season. But it's also clear that it's a financial issue that they don't want to get rid of him because of financial implications. And is this going to cost us this season? It's going to be a long, hard season to watch if this is the case. Is it going to come to Christmas when we miss out Europa League, or we're not even qualifying Europa League and we are still going to be mid-table? Then it's down to INEOS, not to us fans. Not to us fans. So I'm tired of this discussion, to be honest. I am. But as a fans, we need to have this therapy. We need to look at from all 360 angles. And your truth is your truth, the way you express your opinions, because I keep seeing the chat line, I'm deliberately staying away from social media. You haven't seen me much tweeting much. Why? I don't want to be polarized. And it's been so toxic, right? If you write something about if you're supporting Ten Hag, you get absolutely slated and bullied by the outers. And if you're outers, you constantly get attacked by the inners as well. So what have we become as a fan base? What have we become? I started this channel to unite the fan base, defending the badge at all costs against the media agenda. And I'm still doing that. But at the end of the day, when I look at it, we're all here for the footballing reasons as consumers of the game. Football is escapism, isn't it? Right? You work hard of the week, you get your full 90 minutes of the weekend, and you expect us to win. You want to be entertained. But when you are deprived of that, of course, you're going to get critical. Yeah, 100%. What are you guys are saying here? What did Thomas? The club, what are you saying? The club needs to establish what kind of style of football we want to play. I think that's a major factor. But again, how the style of play depends on, I don't call it the style of play, I call it an identity, a cultural identity. Everyone that works in a company knows they have the corporate identity. The way you behave, the competency traits, drivers, and everyone should be following that. And the style of play should be, no matter where you go, if you're outside work, you're living the employer brand. If you're playing away, you should still play your brand, right? But we don't simply do that. We are playing a game by game, and we chopping and changing tactics accordingly, and personnel as well. I don't see any other Premier League club doing it. Yes, I agree, Kat. The Ahmad situation isn't good, and I can't see similar signs with Ugarte. Worrying sign. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys are thinking regarding tomorrow. Are you worried, right? Rushman, what you're saying here, my friend, I think it's getting clearer. The more the club makes contingency plans, the less of chance of Erik Ten Hag will be here at the end of the season. True. Thank you, Rushman, as well. I agree with you. Wow. I'm tired. I'm honestly tired of this manager go around. I was proud of the club to actually give Ten Hag a third season as the only one. But now he's been given all the tools to cook his 5-course meal, and he's failing miserably so far. I understand everyone that is in. I do understand and respect everyone that's out. But I'm not going to sit here, scream and shout. I'm here just to voice my opinion the way I see it, the way I see Man United at the moment. So, a little bit more positive. What do you think about tomorrow? I think we'll win tomorrow, 2-0 United. Hope so. I see a scrappy 2-1 here. Because there's two desperate teams that have a point to prove. West Ham has been dog shit as well. They need points. And so do we. We need points too. So I think it's going to be a very scrappy, open basketball game. We might see the kitchen sink being thrown in. Remember, we're just having one training session today. We play Thursday, and we're flying straight to London. So I don't know. Ricardo, what you're saying here, my friend? Erik Ten Hag needs to stick to a settled team. Then maybe we can have a consistent result. Exactly, that's the red theme. What I've been talking all this past 40 minutes. In isolation, I agree with you, Ricardo. You need to have a settled team. You need to know who is your best 11 in order to have consistent results. You need to be set up in a way that you can attack, not only defend. Yeah, I get that. Look, this water ball. It's Mick Ruby Classic. This is a water ball, right? Currently, we are following the ball like we are defending. Everyone is defending, and then we are attacking. But there's no creativity because it's totally set up wrong. There's no creativity because we've been given defensive accountabilities in that midfield, and even the winger needs to track back and defend as well. I don't remember Erik Ten Hag football under Ajax being this way. It was more fluid as well. So I don't know what kind of ideology is playing by right at no moment. Lee Park is saying 0-0 tomorrow, another draw. Should we just rename ourselves to Drawchester United? Stu is saying we should have beat West Ham. I'm saying 3-1. You're going with the Ruby Classic. Okay. Let me be back to the Manchester United warrior there. I believe in a win. I always believe in a win. You should always go into war believing that you can win. 100%. When you have a fight, an MMA fight or Muay Thai fight or whatever, you always go in with this mentality, I'm going to knock the shit out of that mother yucker. You don't go in there to say, I'll get one punch like Mason Mount and go down and disappear for 3 weeks. Where the hell is Mason Mount? Really? Rushman, what you're saying, I think most fans wanted him to stay, but we have to see progression of sports. It's not free ride until May. 100%. I think that most fans don't see progression. We judge progression by the way we play, and there's currently very pragmatic and boring. There's instances where we are seeing it's frustration, it's clicking, it's working in some games and some patterns, but it's not working. And it comes down to the diagnostics as a manager. What do you do to tweak it, to twerk it? George Vukovic, Mick not had all tools where the left back. Yes. Left back. Yeah, I agree. Brian Foskett, we will turn up 3-win, 100%. We go with the Ruby Classic. Get in there. United 3-1. Let's hope so. Daniel Fletcher, it's only a matter of time before he gets sacked. I think he's gone by either November or international break or Christmas. You might be touching to something, because the Chris Wheeler report is just a contingency of months of reporting, right? I'm starting actually to believe that there is truth in it, right? I started also to believe that there is a financial implication, the reason why they didn't want to sort of get rid of it, because it doesn't really make sense. Usually when you have new people coming aboard, new custodians, new owners of a club, they want to bring in their own manager, their own staff and everything else. And the last piece of the puzzle was the manager. We got Omar Barada in, we got Ashwood in, we got Jason Wilcox, we got what's his name, head of recruitment in as well, can't remember, Christopher Bevel. And the last thing was they looked at the manager. And again, I repeat again, because part of the strategic review, Omar Barada was not involved, like Ashcroft was not involved, and they were not even employed then. But now they're sitting there and watching this with a critical eye and say, listen, this is not good enough. The results are not speaking the volumes what we want. This is the plan. This is our long-term vision. Our vision is to win. Erik Ten Hag vision is short-term vision, just to stay alive, to play game by game and chop and change different personnel and tactics. So there is this discrepancy, in my opinion, after been thinking about it. 5-0 to Man United. Come on, Jack Reacher. Now we're preaching. Preach, Jack Reach. Another draw, in your opinion, what you say, it feels like we are Dorchester United. We'll make silly mistakes. Bring on Greenwood home. That won't happen. Kat, what are you saying here? Hopefully we don't lose a lead again. There is a killer to the morale, 100%. There's a killer. Well, we've seen this happen so many times before. We take the lead and we concede, 100%. 45 minutes of comeback football isn't good enough. No. Mate, sorry. I'm getting bold here. I want us to sort of, I said it early in the stream, I want us to sort of go in, who are we? What do we want to accomplish? We are Manchester United. Okay, what are we playing? We're playing football. What are we playing? Attacking football, or high press, or high possession. Possession-based football will not win you games. It's the goals you score that will win you games at the end of the day. So you need to start finding your way how to score and create chances for the strikers. So we need to go in with that mentality, like, from minute one, like Arteta used to do last season, like a pedal to the metal first 20 minutes, just go for the kill, like go for the tap out, right? Overwhelm them. You just swarm them like we did in the second half against Brentford. I want us to start the games like this, with aggression, with tempo. We started too many games very slow, very lethargic, taking a little bit of a jab, not going for the knockout or the uppercut, just dancing around the opponent like, ooh. But this has been the problem. Brendan, big up Brendan. Comeback football doesn't tell you something about willingness and mental, though. Yeah, 100%. Right? 100%. Anyway, guys, listen, we are scraping at the barrel here. I think that as fan base, we are emotional. We both feel that we are deprived of the joy. We don't see the forest from the tree at the moment. And I get that, I do get that. And it feels like we're already in April, waiting for the season to finish. But what we can do together is just come together as one voice, Because at the end of the day, I'm Manchester United. I want us to start winning games. I want Ten Hag to do well. I want these players to do well. But in order to do so, something's got to change. And if Ten Hag fails, in my opinion, INEOS has failed as well. Because INEOS was the one that gave him the backing. 100%. Guys, thank you so much for supporting this channel. I know, I apologize, we haven't been live much. I haven't been feeling well either. And I've been super busy. And I'm very deeply concerned where we are steering the ship at the moment. I think I'm kind of lost my faith in the manager. And it's not, it would take me very long to say that I'm out. I got a lot of patience, but my patience is kind of dwindling out. Absolutely has. And this is why my mental health is more important than doing content at the moment. I absolutely love Man United. I never miss a game. And unfortunately, I'm far away from Old Trafford, so I cannot go and watch us play. I'm thinking about everyone that goes to matches away, at home, paying money, expensive money, to sit there week in and week out and watch this football being played in front of their eyes. I do understand. So in conclusion, at the end of the day, as football fans of Manchester United club, all we want to see is being entertained. I don't care if we lose 2-1, but play good football, like, you know. Say something, I'm giving up on you, like that song with Christina Aguilera. And this is my standpoint at the moment with Erik. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Sorry, our message don't get through to you. Wherever you are, I keep following you. This is the club, and this is the message. Brace yourself, it's going to be a long season, but tomorrow we go to war again, and hopefully, as some people were saying, 5-0, but Lee Parker was saying, I hope that's the case, man. Whatever you smoking or drinking, will pass it on to me, because I want to have that peace pipe as well. But right now, I'm not feeling in peace with myself and this current club at the moment. Remember, Glazers are still here. Don't forget, support 1958 and the Glazers Up movement. As long as they're still here, we still need to raise our voices. And INEOS needs to still be scrutinized. Don't give them a lean pass, because they've given us a restructure, given us a little bit of signings. No, we are still under review. And it's the results that matters at the end of the day. And this is how we can judge the manager, this team, and the current ownership as well. Stay beautiful, people. Don't forget to like and subscribe as per usual. And it's only football. Enjoy your Saturday, peeps, and thanks for tuning in. Glory, glory, Man United, as per usual. Glazers out and all that jazz. Stay beautiful. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.